Okay, so if you guys seen my Nik the Booksmith flip through for the Classics Challenge, I actually took the course through her Teachable course on how to do the curved spine. The ridges were not taught from her course. I learned that from a few other YouTube videos. Mounting the material to the book, I also learned that from a few other videos. And mounting this piece, I kind of did using my own little idea. So, the only thing in the video that I learned was the steps in curving the spine, adding the crease along the book itself to make sure that it more looks like a book, and connecting the spine to the front and back cover. So, just a disclaimer, by no means will I be really revealing any information from the actual course that would cause Nik the Booksmith to lose any funds in hosting the course. This is strictly a review and my opinion of how I enjoyed the course, and really took home some information that taught me some really good needs and hacks on how to build solid book covers and a curved spine. I was really excited to learn this because I have always loved old-fashioned books. I have always loved journaling. Writing has been my all-time favorite passion. So that was really one of the primary reasons why I wanted to take her course, was so I could start learning how to make books. I'm really in love with it. This is just my opinion of how the class was for me, and may give you a bit of information on whether or not you actually want to take the course yourself, or if you just want to forego it and try and find other means of learning some techniques. So, let's jump right in here. One of the first things I'm going to suggest, if you want to either take this course or work with some of the tools and materials that will be featured in the course, or that I officially used personally, go down to the hardware store and get yourself one of these. It is a sanding block. You can probably find it in the drywall section. That's where I found mine. And this is specifically used for sanding down drywall and evening it out after a drywall person has textured the wall, or put drywall putty in corners, things like that. And I found that this works really great for a lot of other projects too. If you can tell, it's definitely well used. I use this a lot. So for a craft hack, for a lot of other uses, not only just this, you may want to go get one of these. They're really cheap too, and sometimes they come in packs of 3s. And instead of being a straight square, I didn't even think to grab it, but sometimes they're at like an angle, 120-degree angle, so it's like a triangle going on the corner, and it helps you fit into corners and stuff better. So, okay, so in her course, one of the main things I noticed may be harder for some people to get a hold of, she had some heavier grade materials that some people may not be able to function properly with or be able to use. And in place of those heavier grade materials, I will suggest using this Crescent board. I actually got it from Hobby Lobby. It's called Crescent, and I paid $4.99 for it, so $5. And I made my book a little bit bigger than the one in the course that she provided to fit my needs. So from my size, I can build 2 books from this big, huge piece of board. And I've heard people talk about the chipboard that they order off of Joann's, and that they can get 1 book out of $3 worth of chipboard from Joann's. So I've also found that this is a really good cheap substitute. Now remember, it's Crescent, and it is $4.99. So you will save a couple dollars off of that. And depending on the size of book you want, you can go with a smaller size and you can make more than 2 books. And even with the 2 books, you're still going to have some of that board left over to play with. Another thing that she did that I wasn't really too sure on is during her course, she used heavier weight materials for one portion and more of a medium weight for the curved spine. I am not really big on using lighter materials for a section like this, which is my opinion. The reason why I say this is because I'm really hard on my objects sometimes. I mean, I literally have to get an insurance policy on my phone because one year I literally replaced a phone 3 different times. So this is why I decided that I wanted to go with a heavier grade material for the center of the spine, which was the same material that I used for the cover pieces. So if you like that idea, maybe I hope you're definitely good enough to be able to be like I am and incorporate that information on over and use her techniques that she uses in her course to be able to transition to different types of materials. If not, you may want to talk to her during the course and maybe ask her about what you can do to be able to transition easier in between different products and different types of chipboard, hardboard, maybe cardboard, any other thing that you decide that you want to work with. The one thing I do want to say is the spine ridges. I did not learn those in her course. I actually did that off of YouTube. I learned a little bit of a technique from one of the videos I watched. I cannot remember who, but I think I know who it was. And if I remember, I will tag the video. No, I think it was from Pinterest. It was definitely from Pinterest that I learned this. And they use string and a hot glue gun. So if you get on Pinterest and look in my channel or on my Pinterest board, it will be in there under all of my junk journal paraphernalia. So if you really want to learn how I did that. Another thing is my big issue, oh, sorry about that, is I don't like buying materials online. I'm pretty young to be saying this, considering, but I like to be able to feel my materials before I use them because I want to know that I'm getting a good quality product out of the materials I'm using. So if I order it online, I can't feel the product, I can't touch the product and know that not only is this going to be good for me, but if someone else wants to have me make something for them, I want to know that what I'm making for them is going to be a good product. So I preferably hate ordering online. And even when I went to Joann's to check out the chipboard that everybody had been referencing in their videos, I did not like the fact that they only gave you the option to order it online and send it to the store. That was a big, dud for me. It kind of killed it. So when I went to Hobby Lobby, and they're like, oh, well, we got chipboard, but it's over here in this section, all I found were the chip letters. So on my way out at the checkout, the lady's all, well, did you find everything you were looking for? I'm like, no, sadly, I could not find the chipboard. She goes, chipboard? I'm like, yeah, big, huge sheets of chipboard that I could use to make books. And she goes, oh, she's all, we had someone in here the other day who was looking for the same thing, if I'm not mistaken, but they weren't making books. But it's back in the cardboard section where they use the thin, flimsy cardboard, but they use it to make signs for like yard sales and such. It's back in that section, and it is super thick. Let me show you how thick the one I picked up is. I mean, look at how thick this is. It is really thick for board. I don't have a ruler in front of me, but I think it's like 1/4 of an inch or something, or not a quarter. Yeah, let's see here. And it's, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. It says right here, heavyweight. So it's definitely really heavy. But that was my big thing, and I really liked that I could go down to Hobby Lobby and see what they had to offer, because they had multiple different thicknesses, multiple different types, and I finally settled on this one, and I really liked how it came out when I was done. I mean, look at this. Even the curved spine is like, it's all really heavy duty. I didn't have to worry about when I laid down the glue that it over warped it. That was a big one for me. I didn't use an over excess of glue though, so, and I used, what kind of, I used that Fabri-Tac glue, so it worked really well for what I wanted it for. I mean, it was literally perfect. I used quite a bit in a lot of areas, and it did not warp at all, so that made me really happy. So yeah, that's my big thing. I love ordering in store, not online. Okay, so another thing is the different types of curved spines that I found. Because before I really went in depth into the Booksmith's channel and realized that she did a course on how to do curved spines, I was looking through as many YouTube videos and as many Pinterest boards and photos that I could find to learn how to do it. And there were two other ways other than her way that she taught in the video. And one was a wet way of doing it, and you needed water and some heavy-duty chipboard. The one thing I didn't like about that way is you never knew if you were wrapping it right, and if you didn't wrap it right. I mean, you knew if you were kind of wrapping it right, but if you didn't wrap it right, you were going to end up with a crooked piece. And you really don't want that. And with her, the way she does it, it literally comes out perfect every single time. As long as you're good at using the technique that she shows you. Whereas with the water technique, I feel like even if you get really good at it, at some point there is a really good option for you to mess it up easily. The other one that I found was with toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I like the idea of using paper towel rolls, especially as an upcycle. But for me, I feel like that would be way too flimsy for a binder or for a book that you're making to be a long time journal that you want to be nice and sturdy. I did see a YouTube video that was linked to a Pinterest photo that I found using that sort of style, and they did it with a type of photo album. So using that concept, if you're not constantly opening it and using it, yeah, I think a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll would work great, but not for what I'm using it for, and not for what I'm sure a lot of other people would be using it for. So on that basis alone, if you want to learn how to do a curved spine, I would 100% suggest go on over to the Booksmith's channel, take her course, because it will really help you for what you are looking for. I'm not gonna lie, once I watched the little segment she gave on it, and then I came home and put the segment to work, it didn't take me more than, I want to say, 5 to 10 minutes to get the spine shaped and prepped and ready to go. And then another, I want to say for my very first one, 10 to 15 minutes total to do a single spine. Now that's pretty darn good for making a spine for a book, as opposed to 24 to 48 hours later waiting for this stupid piece to dry, or making it out of toilet paper rolls and hoping that it's not too flimsy for the piece you're working on. Another thing I wanted to talk about was after I got the spine connected to the front and back pieces, in the course that I took the Paris 1880 something course. And for that course, it was a lot more labor intensive than I don't want to say 100% more, but it was a bit more labor intensive to get the outcome from the specific book she did in her course, as opposed to doing this book that I did. The main thing was I used material to cover my, sorry about that, entire piece, and there was a couple of different sections and pieces and stuff going on with hers that took a little bit more time and effort, as opposed to mine's just basic, simple, slap it on there. But what she taught and the way she taught it, it was really easy to pull the knowledge that I needed from what she taught and pour it into my needs of what I was looking for in creating a book cover, book spine piece for the piece I was working with. One of the main pieces that I recognize or want to say is she had just this piece that went over right here that connected on the outside, and it looked really nice when it was done, that connected the spine to the front and back cover, that had a lot more labor intensive work in putting it together and getting it prepped before finalization and getting everything to a conclusion. The main thing I noticed was when she did these seams, it was really easy for her to do, and she did it in a few seconds. With the material that I used, it took me a little bit longer to maneuver it around and get it where I wanted to sit, and I had to sit and play with it for a little while before I could get the results that she showed in the video. So just an FYI, if you're not doing it exactly like she states in the video and using everything that she puts in the video, and you want the same result from different materials, you're going to have to work with it a little bit more, or, tweak it a little bit to get what you're looking for out of it. I know I definitely had to, but the techniques she showed definitely worked for this and hers at the same time. I just had to work it in a little bit better than what she did in her video, and it really did help. I was really shocked. I was like, oh my god, I don't know why I never thought of this. This is such an easy way that she showed how to do it, and it just smacks you in the head, and you're like, I don't know why I didn't think of this. But I guess some people are a little bit more blessed than others. Thank you, Nik the Booksmith, for teaching all these wonderful things, because it was really great to get to learn in your course. Though now I'm coming to a close on this video, I do have a few things I want to say or suggest. And Nik the Booksmith, if you're watching, thank you for tuning in. I'm pretty excited to have you here. I do want to say that I honestly went into the course only looking to learn how to do the curved spine. I kind of figured how to do the rest of it, though there were one or two small pointers that I learned that I probably would have never got to take home, like connecting the whole thing together, and which for the most part seemed pretty easy. But when it come down to the last few steps, the techniques that she showed really helped. But the curved spine was the only reason why I wanted to take the course. So that being said, my suggestion is for those who know how to do all of the other stuff in junk journaling, maybe do smaller course sections for a little bit of a cheaper price, where you just learn how to do the spine, or you just learn how to do the beautiful flower work that I was really excited to learn about, but I obviously didn't need to use for this project, but I will be testing it out on another project. I cannot wait. But those flowers were magnificent. But say someone just wanted to learn how to do the spine, or just wanted to learn how to do the flowers. I think it would be a good idea to do smaller course section for smaller prices, and you might get a lot more people coming into your Teachables course who can actually afford it within their bracket, because as we all know, a lot of us don't have all that much money to be pouring into the course. Yeah, so I honestly didn't have almost enough money to put into the course, but I ended up getting very lucky and being offered overtime, and I was fortunate enough to be able to put that money towards taking the course. And I'm glad that I did, because it was very beneficial. Nik was very wonderful, and as soon as I messaged her, she messaged me right back. I didn't message her very much because her course was very well in depth and taught me everything I needed to know, so I really didn't have to ask her any questions. All of my questions were answered throughout the entire course, and it was great. Alrighty, everybody. I thank you for joining me, and if you have not seen it, I will link it up here, and I will try and throw it in the comments, and I will even tag it at the end of the video, because this so far is, I mean, it even outdoes my Paris journal. It is so beautiful, and I can guarantee you I will not have everything into it that I want to before the flip through is due. So it'll be kind of like a base construction. But when I finally get all the stuff together, I will definitely take some pictures, post them up on Instagram. Let me know what you think. I completely loved taking the course, Nik. You were such an amazing teacher. It was so fun getting to watch your little tutorials on how to do everything. Very informational. Easy to work into the crafting needs of my own. Although I do want to note that I am a very fast learner. I've been crafting all of my life, so I can easily adapt one thing into another. If you are not good at that, honestly, message Nik during the course. I'm sure she can help you with any of your needs and what you were looking for, because she is an amazing person and she is really amazing at what she does. Okay, thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.